Hi, my name is Amy Williams, and I'm with Crosshair Press.
And I'm Katie Morford, also with Crosshair Press.
Katie is also known as Karis Waters, who is the co-author, along with Carrie Lemke, of a new book coming from the Crosshair Press catalog very soon. It's called Kenan, the first book in the Catalier series. And we're going to talk a little bit about it today. Katie, when did you first start writing with Carrie?
So Carrie and I started writing together about, I think I was a sophomore in high school. And we just were doing it for fun, doing almost like fan fiction sort of stories. And then a couple years ago, we decided to take it, I guess, a little bit more seriously and really develop the characters out and the story out. And so that original series is what became the Catalier series.
Go ahead and just summarize what the project is about.
So I think one of the things we wanted to explore in Kenan is this idea of what the consequences are of our choices and how that plays out and affects our lives and the lives of those around us. And so that plays into the rest of the series as well. And that theme carries over a bit. Also, we wanted to look at this concept of, is anyone actually beyond saving, and whether our choices can be something that really affect how our lives play out.
Explain your writing process. How did you collaborate?
Yeah, a lot of people collaborate on nonfiction books, but it seems like it's much more unusual to find people who collaborate on fiction books. We both have different strengths as writers. She tends to be very detail-oriented and very logical and takes care of kind of the logistics of plot and some of that kind of thing. And I tend to be much more character-focused and bringing out the visuals and the settings and things like that. So our writing styles complement each other. Most of the original draft of the manuscript was written line by line on Skype Messenger. And then we did a lot of the editing through Google Docs, which allowed us to work on the document at the same time, which definitely sped the process up.
Where did the story come from?
I'm a firm believer that story comes out of character. And so really we first dug into the characters and who they were and what their backstory was and motivations and everything that kind of makes up who they are. And we had the sort of initial concept of them encountering this person that changes everything and makes them make a choice as far as how they're going to respond. But a lot of the events that happened actually flowed very much out of the characters and how we felt like they would respond to different circumstances. So in that sense, it's a very character-based story and a very character-based novel.
How much of the story came from real-life experiences?
Well, I don't usually go around shooting people, but definitely my job as a producer and sort of an international traveler definitely plays a role in my understanding of some of the social issues that play into the story and the cultures that they come from and things like that. So,
what type of research did you have to do to get the story where you wanted it?
Well, we did some research beforehand, but a lot of it was actually kind of as we went along. We ran into situations and we're like, oh, what kind of gun would this person use? I don't know. So we had to look up a lot of things like that and do our own research on that. I've been very fortunate to have a wide variety of friends from a lot of different walks of life, and so we've drawn on those experiences a lot. I have friends in the military that I've asked their advice on different scenes, and I have connections with people who've lived and worked in Turkey for years and years, and so we draw on them as well for language and culture and things like that. So a lot of it is very personal research in that sense.
So since you don't make a habit of running around shooting people in the head, how do you write action scenes?
I watch a lot of movies. No, I mean, I think a lot of what happens, again, goes back to who the character is. So a lot of it just comes back to the character's motivation and how they would respond to a situation. And a lot of times that does play out in action. These are guys who've lived their whole life sort of on the edge in dangerous situations, in and out of hazardous environments, and so it makes sense that they're going to respond in ways that are sometimes violent and sometimes unexpected. And so it does come back to what are their motivations, who are they as people, what are they like as a team, and how are they going to respond to the situation.